Hello, we are Niche Takes, and on this episode, we are watching Cinderella, or we watched Cinderella. This is the aftermath. So, I'm Ariadne.
I'm Mia.
Oh, seeing the poster, quite frankly, like if it was by my free will, I would have not watched this movie.
Who asked for this movie to be made? This looks hideous. The poster alone is just too corny, too fantasy novel-y. I don't like
Yes,
it.
honestly, if I didn't have this text at the bottom saying Cinderella, I just saw this image, I would have never said, oh, like this is a Cinderella story. And I don't know if this is like a positive or a negative. Maybe the shoe would have like led me to something. But I feel like Cinderella, girl, she's tired. She's had enough adaptations. And we've had some amazing adaptations, like for example with Brandy and Whitney. And I even like the earlier Lily James one. And also there was like a Selena Gomez one. There's just Ella, yes, wasn't like something with Anne Hathaway having yes, it was Cinderella.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
like
it was.
they're all so iconic. Why? Who? Like you could have
Leave her
literally
alone. Leave this character alone. She had enough.
please.
Leave Brittany alone!
You could have literally made an original story. I'm so tired of reboots. I'm so tired of rebrandings. I don't want girl boss Cinderella. I don't know who I have to tell this to. Like, you had such a big opportunity with this like renaissance of fairy core and like different fairy tales. You could have made something new. Like, for example, I really loved how Tangled turned out. Yes, it's something from past, it's an
Yeah.
animation, but that's some way like they took inspiration from a story, Rapunzel, yes, and they made it like
Yeah.
that so much that it couldn't be called Rapunzel anymore. But this was just the same old story. It was just like we have more per people of color, which is nice. And oh yeah, it's a musical.
This is
Dear.
from the screenwriter of Pitch Perfect. I just realized that.
Oh dear. The fact is that maybe that's why. And guys, like I saw promotions from this like on TikTok. I was not looking forward to the music, but the music wasn't cringy. The music choices were cringy, but the music itself,
The original music was good. Let's say that. The songs that they sing,
mhm,
I love them. I love the dancing. I
yes,
love
yeah.
the songs were good, especially the ones that were like delivering the news and was part of the plot.
Ah, here he is. Yes, you were talking
Yeah,
about
yeah.
this man. Yeah, this
Him.
was fun.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
giving. You actually mentioned this. This was giving Hamilton. But you know what? Even though like the music didn't make me cringe as much, because the singing was good. Because guys, like the stepmother is like sang by the same performer that sings Wicked on Broadway. Like so many of them could sing. Even the prince's mother could sing. This lady, she could
Yeah,
sing.
but then
Yes,
but then Camila opened her mouth and ruined the song.
it
I
was
don't
very
know.
odd.
Don't come for
Yeah.
me,
No,
but
actually, I
I don't
have
like
to
her.
like the fact is that I'm not even like a anti Camila person or pro one. I just do
I
think
am.
that she has a very you're right. It's like I'm like I don't support her actions and the fact that she had to take very specific classes to unlearn those actions. But music wise, I feel like she has such a special voice, and everybody had such a beautiful musical voice. And then her type of singing with the lots of like runs, with the lots of embellishments, kind of clashed. It's kind of so sad how the prince and Camilla had the the least enjoyable performances, musical performances. I hate to say
I
it.
was rooting for all of the characters but them. I loved everyone but them.
Everybody was so dynamic, everybody was so fun, but when it came to them, I would just be like, okay, just let me just mention this because we talked about music. Song choices, oh my god, it was like
Awful. Oh my
awful,
god.
so on the nose. Like I know that this is like a princess movie, but like you treated everyone like children. It was like, oh, like the stepsisters, I want to talk about getting a what do you call it, a rich husband, not like caring for like love. So let's sing Material Girl. Prince wants to find a bride. Let's sing find me like get me somebody to love. I just need somebody
Somebody
to
to
love.
love, yeah.
Jesus. And it was like the prince does not want to dance with the other girls who are not Cinderella. Let's sing Seven Nation Army. they're just girls and you invited them here and they didn't know that you're waiting for Cinderella. They had no idea.
Yeah,
The girls were interested in him. They were like, "Oh, what a man! What a man! What a man!"
it was too mainstream, you know. I
Yes.
understand choosing those songs, but
Mm-hmm.
it has to be well done. A good example would be Black Widow.
Uh-huh.
The opening credit song was "Smells Like a Teen Spirit" by Nirvana, but it was a cover, and
Yes.
it matched the aesthetics of the movie, and it was really well done, and I loved it, and it got me hooked to the movie, and I was hyped to watch it. But adding Pitbull and Ed Sheeran, I don't know if it gave us the same vibe.
Yes, and also like this was the songs that they covered. There were just some original songs, and all of them were like in a one-way girl bossy. Especially the second one, which like, oh, I'm going to show you, I'm going to like be the one, like you just wait. It's giving me this is the reason like we have individuality complexes. I feel like oh we are going to be different. Like it was just so cliche, and at this point of age, like I just couldn't take one anymore. Like we have so many stories of I'm going to be the one who does the change. I'm going to one that's going to be successful. Like it was giving me very much capitalist girl boss. I have my own business. Like it was just that. Anyways, that was the musicality. This is one of the first scenes where Ella is confronted by the stepmom, and she's literally like, "Hey, why don't you brush your hair?" And she's just like,
She
"No
gets
thanks."
offended. Let's
She gets
just say
offended.
that.
I don't really think watching the movie as a whole, the stepmother was not evil. And I don't think this comment was evil either. Because this is one of the least hardworking Cinderellas that we've seen. I'm not saying, oh, that's a bad thing. Like, no one should be like doing labor, but she had time. She had resources. Her personality was that she made clothes. Like, you're telling me she can't do her hair?
I might just say this because of my love for MILFs and DILFs, but not the king and not the stepmother. No one was actually a villain in this movie, which you could look at as a good thing. They're just normal people. But also, I don't see her having this motivation to like get out of this house and like start a business and just hate her stepmom and sisters that much as she did, because she had all day and night just to work on her clothes and shit, and we saw that. She wasn't like busy serving them or anything like that.
I mean, like, I get that, but there was also a ticking clock, you know? Like, she was going to be, if she didn't, like, do something, like, ultimately, if she didn't meet the prince, she was not going to be having her own dress shop. She was going to be marrying this dude, you know? And so
Yeah,
I,
but the other sister was into him, wasn't she,
yeah, but
right?
he wasn't into him.
He-
Like, it's a two-way, it's
yeah,
a
right.
two-way street.
Yeah.
So, also, like, I didn't like how, like, the more plus size sister was, like, hypersexual for some reason. Like
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
let that die. That's another thing. Like along with the Cinderella
please.
story, let that cliche die. Like I don't know why you have to do that. Like women in bigger bodies are still women. Somehow you just have to take like their delicateness away. You know, it's so weird because like you don't give them the respect that you give. They're your skinny characters. Like I don't see. Anyway, this is not about that.
Yeah, a movie that was
Mhm.
advertising as something groundbreaking. It
Yes.
was full of stereotypes.
Oh my god, full of stereotypes, and it was supposed to be feminist, but it was like the most tired story. I don't know what to say. So, guys, of course, you know the Cinderella story. The prince wants to marry our character Cinderella, but she's like, no, I don't want to marry you because I want to have my own dress shop. I want to have my own business. And he's like, okay, I like respect your choices and will never forgive you or forget you. And she was like, then also you're going to be a king and I don't want to like keep waving. And the movie literally ends with the prince being like, oh, I'm no longer going to be a king. And she's going to be like, oh yeah, forget about my dress shop. I will be just your princess now. You know what I mean? And literally the last scene is them waving at people in a like in a balcony. So she was like, I don't want to be waving from a box. She was literally doing that.
Exactly. Like it was supposed to give girl boss, but at the end she was just another princess, I guess.
Exactly. She just became another princess. I didn't see them. I mean, like at least they said, "Oh, we're going to travel the world," but I didn't see how they would that would help her business. Like we're going to travel the world. Queen Tatiana's going to places. So you're telling me this prince is just one of Queen Tatiana's workers now,
Servants now, yeah,
servants?
I
Like,
guess.
this is Queen Tatiana.
We
Gorgeous,
just
gorgeous, gorgeous.
look at her. Look
I
at the
mean,
makeup, look at the
wow.
costume.
Jesus, wow, wow, wow.
Immaculate.
This
Serving.
movie, this movie was really satiating, and maybe it did not pass the feminism test, but it did pass the MILF test. Look at this. Number A,
It
Tatiana,
did.
Queen
It
Tatiana.
truly did.
Oh, this was Beatrice. This is the prince's mother. My God, like Queen MILF.
Excuse me? Mommy? Sorry. Mommy? Sorry. Mommy? Sorry.
Exactly. Like, why was she so hot? It was weird.
Look at her. Every costume was served.
Wait.
Ah,
This look. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding
my
me?
God.
Wow. They put these girls in. They were like, that's enough feminism for today. We did it. We did it. Did you like this scene?
I like the costumes. I like the makeup. I like the diversity.
Mm-hmm.
But overall, the actual plot was horrendous. What
Wasn't
the
this
fuck
a?
was happening there?
I think this choreography was a little cringe. I have to say it. It was a little cringe, and like I feel bad for these girls because they were set up to fail. Because the prince had already picked, and they were just like making fools out of themselves without knowing it. And I feel like that's
Yeah,
so deceitful from the prince to be like, yeah, everybody come to my party and I'll pick one of you, but it's already decided. So the game's rigged.
his friends were protecting him from a woman's touch. Like, in so much?
And they weren't even
They
like
can't
doing
touch
anything.
you.
They didn't even touch them.
Exactly.
They were just dancing in circles around him. And like, no one touched you, sir. I'm like, calm down.
Yeah, and it's a party to get to know you. I think they have the right to be approaching you. Why are you so
You
scared?
invited
Like,
them.
whenever they, exactly, and whenever they got close, he looked like he was being tortured. He was in pain because the women were close to him.
Yeah. I remember this lady like saying a song that he has never had any, there has never been any rumors of the prince being with another woman. And like that's an admirable thing about him that he's not like she used the
Sus,
word hoe,
sus,
you know? And that was giving me major like that gave
sus.
me trust issues because in the very beginning of the movie we have this beautiful, amazing, gorgeous princess, like smart, profitable, a great candidate to marry. And he was like,
The style.
no. Yes, her outfits. Oh my god! And he was like, "No, I can't. I must marry for love." But like, all he has been doing until now was partying, and but he's never had a girlfriend.
Sus.
Character and this character, who were they? They weren't his
Exactly. I
brothers.
was just about to say that they could have been replaced by just servants. Like they
Yes,
serve no purpose in the movie. They were
it
just
gave
there.
early. It was giving boy band. This is their Zayn. This is their Harry. I don't know. I'm going to say it. I'm not. This is not about the actor. The prince was giving me fruits, fruity, so fruity, suspicious activity, afraid of women. Suddenly, like it was crazy to me. I'm sorry. And always
I
hanging out
agree. I
with two
agree.
other men, like
He was
suspicious.
totally, yeah. And when his father mentioned that they should throw a ball, he was just
Mhm.
like freaking out by the thought of talking to women and getting to know them. Like, honey,
Yeah, yeah. Like you
the
mentioned
closet
this
is
before.
glass.
Exactly. You mentioned this before. Like it says, guys, it said in the movie that he has like been partying and drinking, and then it was time for the ball, and he was like, "But I've never talked to any girls." What?
I have to add, as a
Mhm.
character, I do not care for him.
I did not care for The Godfather. What? Did not care for The Godfather.
I understand that they were going for, the careless prince of the castle, that
Yes.
vibes. And in a better example of this trope would be Nicholas Hoult in The Greats. He's
Mhm.
another, this type of dude that he is
Mhm.
careless. He parties, he gets drunk. I feel like his character had more depth, You
Yeah.
actually care about him, even though he's a douche, even though he, like, doesn't respect women and shit. But there's a still they give us the background of his character. Why is he like this? Why is he this careless? What happened in his past? But this character was just introduced to find
He was careless because he
Cinderella.
was privileged,
Yeah, exactly.
because he could. And another point, he's like so immature. He's not to be trusted at all. Like you cannot depend on him to save your life. Like you can't ask him to get married, let alone do something for the country. And yet the king and queen were like, we're choosing him over our daughter who was genuinely interested in
Was
Ru,
begging them to choose
begging
them.
them to
To
choose.
choose them.
Exactly. And like
She
every
had great
moment that,
ideas.
yes, every moment that we saw her, she was like presenting, she was thinking about it. And this guy was like, I don't want to get married to be king. And at the end, like he said that he was still going to be king, even though he had disappointed the kingdom and hadn't found a wife. But then he said, I don't want to be king. And only then, because he is so funny, he had the freedom to say no, and that was the only thing
Exactly.
that made our girl Gwen actually get the crown at the end.
Yeah, such a feminist movie, isn't it?
Such a feminist movie. Like,
And we got like multiple scenes of her just like not they didn't let her talk even about her
yes,
ideas.
it wasn't even like about, oh, this person is not going to be a good king. They were going to choose him to be king regardless of the whole country thinking he's the king's idiot son.
Exactly. He spent his whole life just drinking and going hunting and shit. And yet his problem, his big dilemma in the whole movie was the fact that he didn't feel like he fit in. And that's just crazy to me because he had a privileged life and he was pretty much enjoying it. How do you think like you don't fit in that life? Where do you think you fit in? Hmm?
I don't want
Working
to
away in the farm?
yeah, I don't think he did not feel like, I feel like the whole fact of I don't fit in wasn't about like I want to be a peasant. He was very much enjoying the royal life. I think it was like I don't want like my wife to be like chosen for me, which like you're having this amazing life, like you can take a little hardship. And also at the end, he didn't even take that. He just yeah, he got to choose what who he wanted. Oh dear, I did not like the prince. He just seemed so privileged to
I didn't understand his motivation because his parents,
me. Hmm.
got along pretty easily with him. He said that he wanted to travel the world. They were like, okay, and just with tiny little bit of fight and argument, they were on board with him marrying someone like a peasant, basically.
Yes.
They weren't that hard, strict parents that he made them out to be in his mind. So I don't understand what motivated him to have this change of heart in the movie and shit.
I mean, like the mom tried to be like, oh, he doesn't want to get married by tradition because, like, the king, the dad, you don't respect me, and he doesn't want a relationship like that. I mean, like, I guess whatever, like, but it wasn't. It the fact is that it was revealed at the end of the movie, so already so much had happened, and I didn't have any kind of feeling to root for the prince because this reason was revealed at the very end. Maybe if I had seen things in the beginning, and like you said, the parents seem to be getting along. Like the only joke we get in the beginning of that, oh, that father doesn't listen, is that his chair is a bit taller than the queen's. But no major I
Yeah.
don't respect you think. So how am I going to empathize with him if I don't know his reasons? Yes. And also this scene, I just put it in because Mr. King spoke some facts. Is that a man who can dance? And I don't know why. When I heard that, it just like replayed Tom Hiddleston and Taylor Swift dancing. But you know what? She had like that
Hmm.
platinum. Yes, it was exactly that. And I was like, yes, he's 100% right. You should listen to your father. He knows what he's talking about. I saw this scene and I was like, I have never seen anybody in my life that looks worse in a uniform.
True.
That's the thing because it breaks my heart because I really went and I was like, oh, I'm not gonna like this movie. I did like the movie. I liked everyone except for the main characters, the two, like the prince and Cinderella. I did. Everybody was gorgeous. Everybody was fun. Everybody cool. Okay, not everybody. The prince, Cinderella, and the prince's boy band. What was that about? These, but like just because they were extras, I didn't like dislike them. But the prince and the Cinderella, I did not feel for them. Honestly, I was rooting more for the prince's sister Gwen. I was rooting more for the king, for the queen, for the stepsister, the stepmother than
Exactly.
I was for the main character. Like I wanted their side stories to succeed more than who this movie is about. And
Backstory that was revealed about the stepmother, I
mhm.
feel like if you're gonna do a Cinderella movie adaptation at this day and age, that might have been a good idea just to write about her, you know?
Oh
Like
yeah.
how they did with Gorilla.
I feel like that's more of a what do you call it, Disney thing, because now they're doing like a now focusing on the
Yeah.
villains, you know. So not only Cruella, also Maleficent, like that's their new shtick, and I actually enjoy it much more than remaking something we already know, you know. But yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
That could have been
exactly.
a very good thing to do. Also, I just did this because this was like after she had bought many like beautiful fabrics because the prince like goes under a disguise, which is just a tie around his
Now
head.
let's talk about the disguise. Let's
Okay.
talk about the disguise for a minute.
Okay.
How did the whole town didn't realize who he was because he had a headband on? He didn't even
Jesus.
cover his face. Giving me like, Cat Noir and Ladybug kind of disguise.
Come on, that Cat Noir's is way better. At least half of his face is covered and like the eye color changes.
Yeah,
And like the and
but
that tight suit is
but
so
Marinette,
distracting. I wouldn't be able to look at anything else. But Marionette, yes, bitch, I can tell.
yes. The hair is purple, honey. No one else has a purple hair. It's so obvious. Okay, that's not about that.
We should address this before we go there. This is the first time the prince and Cinderella see each other.
Oh my god.
And this is the moment that I was like, oh no, I'm getting, with all due respect, Lily Singh, Liza Koshy humor flashback really made me want to
The
fight or flight.
humor was this like, oh, I'm so awkward.
I'm so
Oh, I
clumsy.
cannot talk.
Oh my god,
Ew.
blah blah blah. Like like the like making weird faces, being nervous. Like I thought this was an
This is
empowerment movie. What the hell?
this is the first time I physically cringe at this movie.
Yeah. She sits on his grandfather's statue's lap and he
And wins him over. He's in love. He
he's
is
in love.
seeing fucking butterflies and a fucking fairy. I don't understand what happened here, but like the face he made was giving me everything but in
And it
love. Look
went
at him.
on for like a few good seconds. Like the zoom in was
They
extra
were too
cringy.
long.
If this didn't get you to cringe, this would definitely get you to cringe. And also, there's
Exactly.
something that I like that they actually about the prince. They really stuck to the tradition of like actual princes having bad teeth. I love to see real prince representation. I love to see real royal family representation. I'm sorry if that's a bit mean, but that's all I could think of. That was all I could think of when this person smiled. This is a BBL prince. This is giving
Okay.
me James Charles, giving me thigh high
Yes,
socks.
sister.
Yes. What's going on? Like, I know that this movie is like Billy Porter is here, it's full of gay icons, but he's one too. I just have to say it. He's one too. If this is not a gay legend, I don't know who is, dude. And like the earring, the leather top, the
It's giving
ring,
certified lover boy.
giving certified leather boy. Guys, good for him. You know, be who you are for your pride.
Hey, be who you are.
I just want to talk about this woman because I saw her in the background and I love her.
She's
Look at
pretty.
her. She's gorgeous. I will be looking at this
Serving.
picture for a long time. It's very good. So we came here, we saw it, we saw her, she was serving. This is the disguise scene, and this is the first time they talk. He takes her dress. Oh my god. He said that he's gonna try on the dress. There we go.
Yeah,
There's
I'm
that
telling
too.
you.
Everything just like guys, if you ever do subject yourself to watching this movie, watch it with the idea of maybe this prince is closeted and you just see the bricks falling into place. He buys her dress for like an outrageous amount of money, which I was like, why didn't she question him, because at first he was like,
Exactly.
look at how he's dressed. Like, it's giving me pauper, it's giving me poor, it's giving me.
They talked for
Yes.
a good minute, and she didn't ask for his name. She didn't ask where the money came from. She was
Yes.
just like, yeah, hell
I
yeah.
would be like, this person is a thief, but she was like, no, I'm just a girl boss, I'm a capitalist, I'm gonna take this money and not ask any questions. And she gets
Jeffrey Bezos.
Jeffrey
Jeffrey
Bezos,
Bezos.
Cinderella. So
Come on,
made into
Cinderella, you can do it.
get the prince, put your mind into it. So guys, with the money, she buys fabric and then she goes into designing. And this is one of her designs. I just want us to look
And
at this for a few
design she
seconds.
does.
Wow.
What is it?
I don't know. Like, you could have just given like some sketches under her hand and she would have been acted like it was hers. You could have done that, but
Throughout
just
the
like,
movie, the dresses she designed was awful. Okay, I'm just
yeah.
gonna come out and say it. Like, Cinderella is, supposed to be the best looking and best dressed
Mhm.
person at the ball that will catch the prince's eyes and
Yes.
shit. But her dress was the most underwhelming outfit in that ball.
Everybody
Everyone
else
was
was giving me
serving.
Met Gala and she was giving me prom.
She was giving me Kendall Jenner at Met Gala.
Exactly. Like, what can I say? It was giving, no, actually, I'm sorry, Kendall. No. What was that girl? Kylie Kloss? She was like, I'm looking camp in the eye. And then
Oh
like
yeah,
she was
yeah, yeah.
wearing just like a little top yellow thing. What was her name?
So camp, bestie. So
Oh
camp.
my God.
Carly Kloss. Yeah.
It was exactly that scene. It was like, oh, like Cinderella, her whole personality in this movie is that she can design dresses, and then everybody else would
And
be
this
like
is what she
wearing.
wants to wear.
And like, it's sad because by this point, money was not an issue. Like, if she made anything before
Exactly.
this, I would be like, okay, she had rags to work with. What are you doing, girl?
Queen Tatiana wanted her to work for her. Like,
Charity.
look at the dress.
Charity.
Exactly.
So, guys, this is the night they're going to the ball. The stepmother doesn't let her. Her guardian angel has just showed up. Whole butterfly has turned into a man in full eleganza clothes, and this was her reaction. And after that, she smiled. No shock,
Acting,
no
bitch.
scream,
Learn
no
about it.
running. She was just like, yes, another day in the kingdom, a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Like this happens.
This is
every day.
normal.
I just want to mention that like the prince under the skies asks her to come to the ball, and he's like, no. She's like, I don't want to come to the ball. I don't want to like meet the prince and stuff like that. And then he's like, but people will see your
But he's
dresses. Like,
dumb.
where's the
I'm
money?
not like other girls.
Yes, why would I want to go and meet the prince? Ew. And then he gives her some cold cash and she buys an outfit to go and promote her dresses. But the moment she has an outfit, she's talking about, oh, I'm gonna go dance with the prince. I'm gonna steal with his heart. Did the movie forget that 10 minutes ago this character did not want to go to the ball?
They just wanted to have a Yas queen, slay scene.
And there's a reason that I put Billy Porter out of this image, because this is not directed to him. But this was giving me white girl at DragCon. This was.
You know what it was giving? It was giving 2014 BuzzFeed. I don't want to say anything. Just look at
it. Just be alone with this for a minute. But I loved Billy's outfit. Good for him. Looking good.
He served.
As
always.
Whimsical, beautiful, great. Why would he entertain these ideas? I don't know, girl. You get the bag. Good for you. I don't criticize him. Then this happens. Of course, this is like Cinderella is going to the ball.
Put a trigger warning. Put a trigger warning over his face.
So the 3 rats become humans and they become comedians.
One of them was supposed to be John Mulaney.
This is so weird because it's so hard to be like, when you're a comedian, your whole thing is that you're charming and likable, that's your whole personality.
I just want to punch him.
Because I have to be, please, I'm getting there. You don't have to be conventionally attractive to be a comedian. You don't have to be, I don't know, like Meryl Streep style actor or Adam Driver level actor to be a comedian. You just have to be charming and lovable. How the fuck none of these 3 managed to be charming nor lovable? And James Corden, somebody stop this man.
My fight or flight kick in whenever I hear his voice or see him on the screen. I don't know what it is about him, but I just want to punch him.
You know,
So
somebody
hard.
told me that, not somebody told me reading something online. Someone said, I just had a wonderful conversation with a friend.
I just had a wonderful conversation with a friend.
Tweeted out that they were British and they were like, James Corden has become Americanified, and that's why he's so unlikable. Because I don't know if you remember in the beginning of his show, people loved him. Before that, when he was in the UK, people loved him. They were like, oh, here's this lovable guy. I don't know what happened. I don't know what they put in the water in America that turns everyone into an asshole. He got affected real hard. But he's annoying. I have to say it, guys.
He's Ellen level annoying, you
Oh,
know?
yes, the new Ellen.
And I
swear
wish
to
it
God.
was just the vibe, but
He was doing way too much for his role in the movie. You're a side character,
he was trying
Mouse.
to steal
Chill.
a show. All the good lines for the mice and shit, it was all given to him. But
Oh, look, this is how humans pee. Like, what is that joke, sis? Like, and the fact is that somebody lied to him. Somebody lied to him and said, you're Cinderella. The way, like, the acting, it was just too much energy focused.
I don't think anyone did that. I think he just thinks that
he is
about him.
Cinderella. He just thinks that he is
Yes,
Cinderella.
This is all for him.
I hated this
Oh my
so
God.
much. Scene, a very feminist movie, is like women can't have shops, and then he's like, oh, so why would women want to have shops or some shit like that? And she's like, well, you know, women can like give birth and they like run whole households.
Oh my God.
Like, what about women who don't want to give birth or can't give birth?
Why are you putting value to us reproducing?
I don't know, like men don't give birth. Why do we give them rights? If that's that's what we choose them on. Like, what the hell is this? It was odd.
And he's like, yeah, the system is so bad. I want to change it.
This was like so much like performative feminism just to get the girl that she likes. Suddenly he realizes the system and doesn't realize the hardship that this girl who was absolutely queer. You can't tell me she wasn't queer, but she was sacrificing her happiness for your kingdom. And back then you didn't say, the system's fucked up. But when this girl like can't sell her dress, you're like, cancel her Etsy product, like you're just like suddenly, I must abolish system. Like, come on. I mean, like with when she said that, oh, like the disgusting process of creating an heir, it was pretty obvious that I thought she was queer coded, but that just told us that yes, she is queer. So
she is.
He had no sympathy for her, and also a lot of people were talking about this castle.
There's one shot of them zooming in the castle.
Yeah.
And you can clearly see that this is just an image.
Yes, in the morning.
CGI,
yeah.
It's one image.
The budget went to James Corden's scene where he's just a flying head with a rat body.
Oh my God, that was so traumatic. I'm not gonna forget about that. Jesus fucking Christ. What was that? Who made that call? Who made that call? I just want to talk.
So we're talking about the ball. So Ella has her henchmen. She has her dress. Then we have this scene here. This ball is this is what I mean when I say the prince was unlikable. This ball was for him, and he was late. And he was the person who had fucked up the ball. It was just going to be noble women, but he said, no, all women. So they're jumping through hoops for him, and he's still a bitch. And look at Gwen in the back. Just look at this girl. She's just trying to cope. Honestly,
look at the queen.
But yes,
look at her.
Her makeup was gorgeous. Her outfit was more beautiful than the Cinderella's big reveal. What fairy godmother helped. It was why? Like, look at this. Why? Who made the decisions for Cinderella? It's like the person who made decisions was perfect for every other cast member.
Obviously hated Camila. That's obvious.
If I were Camila Cabello, I'd be like, there's a conspiracy running against me. They're trying to make me look bad. Because I have a picture of the dress because it was just, this is the front and like the top, we saw the most of the film. Okay, great.
Top is okay.
The bottom.
Top is acceptable. The bottom is hideous. And, oh my God.
And this was supposed to be a design that was so good. No human could make it. Only magic could make it happen.
Yeah, and Queen Tatiana was sold on this. She saw this and said, yes, you're coming with me.
This is what she's wearing. And this is what she said that, oh yeah, this is a good look. She's
Look
just
at
so
her. Why
merciful.
would Queen Tatiana need someone like that?
It was a joke.
Too kind. She's too kind.
Entertainment. You get bored on ships. You really do. Good for her. She was gorgeous, beautiful. What was going on here? And can we talk about this? You know, I expect so little that when this scene didn't make my skin crawl, I was like, oh my god, that's actually good, guys. They sing Ed Sheeran.
Oh my god. And on the age of everyone hating him, I feel
Wasn't
like
as pretty.
someone, yeah, the dance was okay, but I feel like someone on the set was like betting on making the most hateable movie ever, because James Corden and Camila and Ed Sheeran in one movie.
And this is like they go aside and he's like, I love you. And she's like, we've explained this before. She's like, no, I want to have my business. And she says no to him. And like they have like their first kiss kind of. I thought that we cared.
Wait,
Really, they were sitting there
mm,
thinking that we are like on the edge of our seat, like waiting for them to kiss. I did not give a shit. Like they really
I
like
was just waiting for the stepmom.
I
I
was
was
just
just waiting
waiting
for
for
her.
Mustafa and for Queen Beatrice. We were just waiting for their screen time. But literally, like this was supposedly like going to be their first kiss before the clock strikes 12, and he looks like he's going through some really bad stomach ache. He looks constipated. He looks like he
He
needs
does.
belly rubs from mommy. Like something is going on. Like this is not the face you make when you're kissing your love. Like Camila here, acceptable. What is going on with
He's
him?
mad that he's kissing her. He's
And
like,
also
no, I want to kiss dudes.
mommy, sorry. Mommy, sorry. Mommy.
Mommy, look at her.
Look
Yeah,
at
look at
her.
her. She was sword fighting, right?
Yes, exactly. She lifted that. Whoa.
The way I gasped.
The
The
way I
way
guess.
I gasped. Do
I
you want a
was like,
dog? I can bark. I'm the best motherfucker in town.
And you're gonna go down and you're gonna go, listen, I know you're not hiring, but I'm the best motherfucker available to you. You know why? Because I'm a fucking American, okay?
I was throwing up and crying at the same time when I saw this. And guys, this isn't even
Exactly.
the whole outfit. Just
Outfit was so good. Oh my, they knew what they were doing with
they
this
knew what they were
outfit.
doing. Oh, she says, no, I don't want to marry you, Prince. Why? Because if I marry you, I have to be in a part of the royal family and I want to follow my dream. What do you call it? Dressmaking dreams. And then the prince is like, oh, I don't fuck with being a king. And they're like, okay, go travel the world and ask her to marry you again. And he does. And suddenly she says, okay. And the last scene is them waving in a box and she being part of the royal family. That was Cinderella for you.
Overall, it wasn't as groundbreaking as they thought
Yes.
the movie is gonna
Talking
be. At the end, she didn't really get to choose the life, you know? The
Mhm.
prince came around and was like, I chose us. You know, it made her dilemma about him.
Yes.
And I feel like if you're gonna do an adaptation, this feminism, this, activist movie, the least you could do was like to make them not end up together,
Yes.
just to give the audience
You
a
know what would
message
have
that
been
you can
so
succeed
you know what would have been so
without.
romantic if he'd been like,
Mhm.
I'm gonna wait for you. You go with Queen Tatiana and come back. I'm gonna wait for you. I would have loved that.
Exactly.
Also, this scene, when we say performative, like trying to be progressive,
Oh
really
my
like
God.
hard, it was like this scene was so cringe. It actually made me
Like,
shoot
I
up.
don't understand. Like, she's supposed to hate them, right? But when the stepsister asked that, do you think I look ugly? She's like, no, I think you look so pretty, but it's so about you. What do you think about yourself? It was so forced, out of character for both of them.
So out of character, and like why would she listen to Ella? Like isn't she like their like servant in this thing? That's like Lily James movie. She literally had dust on her face. They called her Cinderella. And Camila kept saying, oh, it's because I have dust on my face. Her face was clean. Were they talking about her skin? Like it felt so wrong. This is the worst the face
Look
ever
at it.
looked. And it just got
Yeah.
better from here. And they were like, yeah, like you have dirt on your face. Like,
You
no,
look
I think it's
dirty.
melanin. I think
Ew.
it's melanin. The technical word was melanin. Please stop.
Yeah, they didn't get the memo of her being a POC, I think.
Yeah,
They thought
it
she was a
felt,
white chick.
and you know what? It felt. I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna be too sensitive, but I feel like as a POC, I can say this. It felt racially charged when her face was clean, and they would be like, "Oh, your face is like still dusty." especially because the sisters were white.
Exactly.
Change that bit or have actual dust on her face because it seemed like
Yeah,
a
it
double
was
joke.
so easy to give her dust on a little bit of dust on the cheek. Like, what was the
Yeah.
reason?
But final notes, I have to say, I didn't hate it. I didn't hate it. I really didn't. And that's only because of the
I didn't
saving
like the
grace.
ending.
Yes, I didn't like the ending, but throughout watching the movie, the other cast, other than these two people and James Corden and those two other mice, everybody else was lovely. They were swell, and they made the thing win. So let's go to ratings. How do you rate this, Mia?
Um, I think if you're under 7, you're gonna enjoy this
You're gonna
movie.
love this.
Yeah. Above that, uh, don't bother,
Yeah.
honestly. If you like MILFs, please proceed
Yes.
because it has
MILF
some,
lovers.
yeah,
Completely
yeah,
attention,
please
attention,
watch
MILF
that.
lovers.
Overall, I'm gonna give it a 3 out of 5
Glass shoes. I'm going to be giving it actually 4 out of 10 James Corden flying heads. I think
Oh my god.
that's an image that's going to be haunting me tonight.
Yeah.
Dear.
Overall, I don't think it was giving white feminism. It was
Yes,
giving, performative activism.
it was, yeah, honestly. And
It
I
didn't change anything. It didn't convey a good message. It was just like, yeah, love is the most important thing in the
oh my
world.
god, because I was going to wrap it up, but literally, like everything happens. This girl bossification. She's like, no, I don't want this. I'm going to choose myself. And then we have a whole monologue of one of the boy band members
This
being like,
random dude that hasn't talked in the whole movie all of a sudden is like a hopeless romantic.
he's like the message that like I'm so tired of hearing, and it's just something that brainwashes. It has brainwashed me. It has brainwashed so many people into thinking that relationships are like the goal of life, and that a person
Yeah.
cannot be happy with. Because they literally say that. They say that you can't be happy if you're not with like the person that you love the most. What is life? What is the meaning of life? No, you can leave. You can lead an independent, happy life. You don't need another person. What like oh,
Exactly.
so
And
problematic.
the original Cinderella story and all of the other Disney princesses, they all were leaning toward this message of you need this significant other, you need this man in your
I mean,
life
exactly.
to
That's
save
where the
you, to come
movies
rescue
ended,
you.
you know?
Yeah. And if you're gonna make a activist movie about Cinderella, at least change that. At least, change the message. She was
Mhm.
gonna become a girl boss at the end. Just make her independent.
It's
She
so
doesn't need the prince. I
exactly
don't.
made like the girl boss such a big topic in this movie only to betray it at the end. And the only reason I'm like saying, oh, like criticizing the message of like finding your one true love is only because this movie was made with like awareness. At least that's what they show, that oh yeah, like
Mhm.
this is a feminist movie. This is a modern retelling.
Cinderella literally wears a suit at some point.
Oh,
At the end, she's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna get married to a prince." Sure. I
yeah.
don't know. I mean, the age demographic is probably children, and I don't think it's a really good message to put out there. It has been
Mhm.
told several times. It's time to move on from this message.
Yeah, I agree. To have original things. Like there's so many writers in Hollywood, please. And I know that the writers are writing. It's just these companies not picking up anything that's not a reboot or anything that's not some sort of exaggeration of what do you call an adolescent experience? You know what I mean? Or catering to
Yeah.
very specific white audience, white young audience, like kissing booth stuff like that. Like please give good writers a chance.
That's why we stand A24. Watch
Yes.
A24 movies,
Watch
people.
A24, guys. Search up the name of the MILFs on Twitter. Nothing more. This is enough. Okay, guys. So that was Cinderella. We will see you with the next video. Bye bye.
Bye.